Why does running your business feel twice as hard as it did 2 years ago? It's obvious that your business is growing. You have seen the growth. You are having more revenue than you used to have, and you have hired more people, and you are also getting a bigger clients. And this obviously means that there is growth in your business. But the question still remains, why does it feel hard to run that particular business? In most cases, we always misdiagnose the problem. The problem isn't growth. The problem is that while your business grew, your systems are still the same. This then is the major problem in your business. So in this video, I'm going to break down the 5 hidden places where you find business complexity and the exact framework, step by step, on how to fix this particular thing. Welcome once again. I'm Kenneth, and this is Phiri Consulting. Our mandate here at Phiri Consulting is to help entrepreneurs like you, founders, and everyone else who's aspiring to go into business to build businesses that are easy to run, that are easy to scale, and that are less dependent on the founder. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're also new here, please do consider subscribing to the channel. We really appreciate all your efforts to support this particular channel. Let me take you backward. Remember that particular time when you had about 3 to 5 people in your team, or 3 to 5 employees. You had about maybe 15 clients, and things were simpler back. So basically, you were the operating system, because you could just walk through the office, maybe send a WhatsApp or communicate with someone directly, and you'll know exactly what's happening. So there's no problem there. You were doing probably everything was manual. You were also managing everything. Your hand was in everything that was happening in the organization. You were involved in decision making here and there and there. So it was simple. 15 clients, 3 to 5 employees, and then that's it. But fast forward to now, where you are right now, your business has grown and you have approximately 100 clients. You've got a team of about 20 employees, yet you are still doing everything the same way you did. Now you see, there arises the problem where, as the business grew, your systems, your management processes, your administration, your handovers, and everything else is still being done in the same particular way that you used to do it when you only had 15 clients. So as it is, you do not have processes. The system itself is unable to handle the capacity that the business is running at. You are unable to run the growth. So it's not the growth that is the problem. No, it's that the operating system has remained the same. You have remained as the operating system in your business, and that basically is the main reason why you are having all these challenges in growing or sustaining the growth of your business. Now you're beginning to realize, therefore, that when you do something, things seem to break down. As a result, and then this is the realization that you have. You are no longer managing work. You are managing information that is passing from one human being to another. So the dynamics of the business has changed altogether. So basically, information now becomes very critical in terms of how you grow your business and how it flows through your business. Is the process made fit to handle that transfer of information or transfer of knowledge, either from operations to another department, and so forth and so forth. So basically, you find scenarios where probably first and foremost the lead comes in. Sales talks to them. Someone drafts a quote. Operation needs client specs. Finance needs to invoice, and the client asks for an update. You will notice, therefore, that one single interaction with the client needed approximately 6 handovers. If there are problems in these handovers, then it means that you do not have a system that can handle the growth of your business. Because as information flows from sales to operations to distribution to finance and so forth, there has to be a system that ensures that this is seamless. The transition has to be seamless, and each of the processes, as the information moves from one step to the other, or from one part of the process to the other, there is a sort of codependence that makes it a seamless flow, so that at the end of the day, from the time you acquire the client to the time when you have delivered the product or the service, there is fluency in doing so. So therefore, you need to take note of the fact that each and every one of those handover points, those 6 handover points, each and every one of them presents a point of friction. Because where there is a point of friction, it means therefore that one, either there could be human error, 2, there could be information that is lost, or something else might happen that might affect how the service or how the product is delivered. So this actually, it works against what your business should be doing, or against the profitability of your business. So handovers have to be as smooth as possible, and these are bound to happen as your business grows and as you handle more clients and have different sections and departments in your business. Now, this is exactly what the growth trap is about. It means, therefore, that as the business grew, the systems that are supposed to support or enhance the growth of that business have remained the same. I think at this point, it is important to mention that operational complexity isn't just a complex sort of corporate jargon. It really isn't. You probably have encountered it many times. Even right now today, you probably encounter it before lunchtime, if maybe before you knock off one way or the other. In your organization, there is bound to be some operational complexity, and it's common in most organizations. The only issue here is that a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of founders do not know that they're dealing with operational complexity, and it's that particular ignorance that actually hurts them the most. For instance, you might find that you do not know where the last document or the last version of the document was. You remember sending it on WhatsApp. That could be a complexity that is unnecessary there. It's because you actually cannot identify the exact place where this document is. Or for instance, you find that there are 2 employees that are doing the same thing, or that are doing the same particular task, because neither of them know that the other one is already started on that particular task. So it means that there are serious issues here. Or a client waiting for days for a discount approval. Imagine just a discount approval, a client waiting for days. Why? Because the founder has to approve everything. In other cases, you find that there are 5 different versions of the master Excel file, and because of that, you've got 5 different versions floating. This person will have one version, and then another person will have another version. So it means that they are all exposed to different information. Maybe one is more up to date and the others are not. So that creates operational complexity in that particular business. Now, here is why this is very dangerous. Now, missing one document or misplacing one document might not really be harmful to you, because at that particular point is just only one document, and obviously it might not get you bankrupt because it's just one document. But think about it this way. Imagine this happening 50 times a day, 50 times a day, and you will have that working across 15 employees. And also you've got multiple clients, dozens and dozens of clients, all being involved in all of this. I said in the example that let's say you've got 100 clients, each of them receiving probably information that was wrong. Soon enough, that particular business will end up paying a tax right there, a complexity tax, and this tax is something that would have compounded because of these multiplied, if as small as they might be, because they are happening more frequently, then they become a loss to the particular business. They'll appear in a financial a way, or they will become a sort of tax that you're paying. So which means there is a cost for you for having those complexities in your business, and it's such cost that hits hard on your profits. And this will be very evident when you look at your financials, maybe at the end of a particular period and so forth. Your income statement, although this might not be written, it will begin to reveal that there is money leaking somewhere. So complexity on its own comes with a cost, although it might not be easy to identify it at the beginning, but as it compounds, it becomes a very huge a cost or tax to the business that you definitely need to pay up. And when you do so, it will affect your bottom line, and it means that you are leaking revenue in your business. If you want to eliminate operational bottlenecks, then you need to look at these 5 places. The first place to look at, we have mentioned it, is handovers. As information or as data moves from probably maybe sales to operations, or from operations to finance, wherever the case might be, there's bound to be friction. If there is friction, therefore, there is something that might happen there. It could be errors, it could be misinformation, whatever it might that might be. It will cost your business, and this is one of the areas where usually friction takes place, where there are handovers. If it is handover of information, is the information not distorted when it moves from one part of the process, or from one step to the next? Is there no chain distortion, so to say? You have heard probably of an activity where maybe you tell someone something, you whisper into their ear, you will form a chain from one person to the next. Maybe you've got 10 people connected in one chain. The one whispers a sentence or a phrase, as the next one picks it up and goes to the next and to the next to the next. By the time it comes out there, it is distorted altogether. And in different points in that particular chain, you'll find that people heard differently, because one, in that handover, probably the information was not documented. And if it was just word of mouth, then that even becomes worse. So make sure that you look at the handovers. What is happening there? And is there information that is leaking? The second one is information fragmentation. Where exactly does truth reside in your business? Is it in WhatsApp? Is it on Google Drive? Is it where exactly can we find the data that people must make decisions on? Now, if people need to maybe move from one particular platform to another in search of that particular information or data, then it means also that information is fragmented, is scattered all over, and this becomes a very big problem, because you cannot really identify, or it might really take time for you to put that information together. So in the end, it means that you are losing a lot of billable hours in your particular business that could be making you money. The third one is the approval bottleneck. The approval bottleneck is where you, as the founder or as the entrepreneur, the owner of the business, are involved in every minute decision. It could be maybe based on dealing with a client discount. It could be approving the right email to go, approving the right cost to put on LinkedIn. Every single decision has to go through you, emails, whatsoever. So that on its own it means that there's complexity, and this complexity affects the operations of your business, and you really need to deal with it very fast. Number 4 is low value repetition. This is where probably you have become the copy and paste bridge in your particular business, where information from a particular maybe software app needs to be copied, to be pasted into another one. So everything is being done manually, and it is repeated over and over again, where you could have had a system that deals with that particular issue. So that again is a very big concern, and this is one of the places for most enterprises in this particular age where they are leaking a lot of time and a lot of revenue. Number 5 is process execution, special cases where you have got certain clients that are given special, maybe special care, or you are saying that, no, not this client, we deal with this client in this particular way. So that means that there is no business model. If there's no business model, it means that each and every client becomes a separate, complex, a particular project that cannot be scaled. You cannot scale unique projects because you are handling each client uniquely, separately, differently from the rest. So as a result, if you've got any hopes to scale your business, it will not happen because you are handling each and every one of them as a single unit and with special attention, meaning that you need to overhaul the process to suit each and every client. You will not have a process map or a standard operating procedure that can suit that particular scenario. So scaling becomes a very, very difficult objective. It definitely will not happen in such a case. Okay, now, in most cases, here's the truth. Where the situation becomes messy or operations become messy, what most founders or entrepreneurs do is that they look at the situation and they think, you know what, we are overwhelmed here. And because we are overwhelmed, we're going to bring someone else to take off the load or to lighten the load. Basically, it means that we're going to hire someone else, and this will make it more simpler and more easy to run smoothly. But I advise you to just stop. Just stop, think about it, and ask yourself this question. The first thing that you must be asking is, why is this process or this step in the process, why is it requiring a lot of human effort? That must be the question that you are asking yourself before you can throw a salary at the problem and hope, because here you're gambling, and hope that by throwing money into the situation, then the situation magically will sort of solve itself. But oftentimes we see that that spend on salary becomes a spend that you will not recover and becomes a spend that basically falls in the realms of just costs that are not bringing in any particular revenue. So you are basically losing because your costs have increased, yet the operations and the performance of your business has remained the same, and in other cases even gone down. So if you hire a person before you actually fix your broken or disorganized system, therefore basically we're saying you're losing money. So my advice to you is fix the system first before you can actually try to put people to work in that particular system. It means that the system is broken, and if the system is broken, it doesn't matter how many people you put in or how much salary you might increase there. It just means that you are spending what you will not recover, because remember, the employees or the labor costs that you're having, it must show in the revenues that you get, because you have to cover that cost one way or the other. So in this case, it means therefore that you need to fix the system before you can throw a salary at it. Now let's consider fixing these particular issues. Okay, most businesses make this mistake. They throw a lot of money at it and they go on a sort of a project to say, we're taking a 6 months to fix our system, to fix everything that is broken in the business. So they do a 6-month complete overhaul of the business. Now, don't go that route. In fact, what you must be focusing on are only those areas in your business, first and foremost, that are related to customer experience and to cash flow, because this is exactly where you are making money. If the customer experience is good, then it reflects also in the cash flow. If the cash flow is good, it also means that the customer experience is okay, so the customers are supporting you with their purchases or with their wallets or whatever the case they're using to buy your product. So you really need to focus on these areas. The first one is lead handling For instance, if web leads are taking hours to contact, what you need to be doing here is apply instant responses via autoresponders. Most CRMs have these autoresponders. Secondly, if the problem is the sales pipeline, for instance, maybe proposals are sitting in boxes for long periods of time, what you need to do then, you need to have an automated follow-up triggers in your particular system that will ensure that proposals are sent on time. And then number 3, client onboarding is usually one of those areas. And usually the problem is maybe there is a manual back and forth between you in emails between the client. The client says, hey, I can't find this pattern, I can't find this. What you need to do then is to have a standardized welcome intake, a portal where there is uniformity in the message that each and every client gets, and the client can always go back and forth themselves to read and understand what they need to do without you constantly repeating over and over what they should do. And then number 4, a service delivery where information is getting lost between teams. So you need to have a centralized task management such as ClickUp. Asana will also do in this case. So you always need to, you can follow those and identify exactly, remember I said, issues where there is customer experience as well as circumstances where cash flow is being hit. Those are the areas right now where you can start before you can attend to others. So if there is a messy situation in your business or a department is failing to run according to expectation, I want you to follow this framework step by step exactly as I give it to you. Don't change it. Follow it exactly as I give it to you. The first thing, document it. Document exactly what needs to happen step by step from this place to that place and to that. This one does that. Everything must be documented exactly in the way it's supposed to go. And then number 2, simplify it. By simplifying it, what I mean is you need to remove certain things that may be redundancies in that particular process or in the steps that you have documented, things that I'm going to make it simpler. If maybe there were divergences somewhere, make sure you prune those off and have a system that is simple to follow and to use. And then the third one is standardize it. Now, when you're standardizing it, then you're choosing a single, very simple, a standard operating a procedure that everyone uses or that everyone can adopt and start using. It has to be the same for everyone that is doing that particular thing or that is doing the same particular task or activity. It must be simple, easy to understand and easy to follow and easy to implement. And then number 4, automate it and also use AI. Now, you see, when everything else from a systems point of view is set, this is when you can now put automations. This is when you can now bring in AI. You don't bring AI in the beginning. You bring it when all the systems have been mapped out, and AI and then is there to help you scale, is there to make you more efficient. It's not there to carry the entire load of the business. No, it's there to make things run smoother that you have already decided on how to do and what to do and when to do it. So you're plugging in AI for the purposes of scaling that particular business and handling heavier loads in terms of information, in terms of clients and so forth and so forth. Basically, just a little bit more about AI. There are a lot of tools these days, such as ChatGPT, Claude. You can think of Zapier, even make.com when you're thinking about automation. Okay, one thing that I want to emphasize here is that don't use AI for the sake of using AI because it is trendy, because everyone else is using. Use it because there is need for it in your organization. There's certainly need for AI in most businesses today, and is there to facilitate the growth of your business. or is there to take off your hand some mundane, repetitive tasks that you shouldn't be doing, and that you will need to focus most of your time on doing the strategic part of the business that actually will bring the growth of your business. Where certain things such as AI cannot fit, this is where you should be actually active in. But in all those other things where the process has already been mapped out, where the outcome is always an identical outcome that is required, then you can put AI, because now you already map out a certain process. Maybe it's a step where if this happens, then do that. Then you don't need someone to stand there waiting for this to happen so they can do that. AI can do those for you. Then this is where you put it, you implement it in your business, not because someone else say do it, because there is need in your business to do it. And I'm sure that if you really were to map up your processes, there is bound to be a place where you can fit it, that it be useful and effective to bring about the growth of your business. As for this week, this is the activity that you must be doing. I want you to pick a high volume operation in your business. For example, let's say lead generation or lead process, whatever the case might be. Just choose one high volume activity or task in your business. And then you need to ask yourself these 3 questions. Take a pen and write them down. Maybe you can do it in your team, or if you're a solopreneur, you can still do this on your own. So the 3 questions that you're supposed to ask yourself are: number 1, where are we waiting? Number 2 is, where are we repeating work? And number 3, where is information getting lost during handovers? Your honest answers to these questions will probably identify exactly where that complexity or that operational friction is. And if you want to go further, probably you do not know what to do and you still need more assistance, what I'll advise you to do is to check out the free SME revenue leak calculator. Link is in the description of this video. It will only take 3 minutes and it will help you identify exactly where operational bottlenecks exist in your particular business. If you have done that, and if you still want to go further, then you can look at what we have also generated for you, and it's called the SME revenue leak audit. The revenue leak audit actually comes with more and more things that you need to do and that you can use to identify where revenue exactly leaks, and a framework of how to solve or how to plug those leaks in your business. Now, if this video made you think about growth in a different way and it has added value on how to run your business with as minimum effort and with less founder activity in it, then do consider subscribing to the channel. Every week we'll bring you strategies on how to start and build a business that is easy to run, that is easy to scale, and that is less dependent on you, the founder. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.